Millionaire's twins drove every nanny away, but the maid did what no one expected. The grand iron gates of the Whitmore estate groaned open, revealing a sprawling mansion that shimmered under the golden California sun. Marble columns, manicured hedges, and a fountain that never slept. It was the picture of opulence, but behind those gilded windows lived a storm no money could calm. Twin boys, Julian and Jasper Whitmore, age 7, infamous for driving away every nanny, tutor, and caregiver who dared enter their world. Their father, billionaire tech mogul Richard Whitmore, stood at his office window, tie loosened, eyes weary. He'd buried his wife, Elena, 2 years prior, a sudden aneurysm that left him a single father drowning in boardrooms and grief. The twins, once sweet and giggly, had turned wild, screaming at nannies, hiding their shoes, pouring syrup on keyboards, locking caregivers in closets. 23 nannies in 18 months, all quit. Some cried on their way out. "Mr. Whitmore," his assistant murmured, "the new maid is here. She's not what we expected." Richard sighed. "As long as she can mop floors and stay out of the twins' way, I don't care. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the power of patience, please like, share, and subscribe to ACA Storytales for more life-changing emotional stories. Your support helps us spread hope to millions." Her name was Rosa Martinez, 5'2", wrinkles around her eyes from years of smiling through hardship. She arrived not in a crisp uniform but in faded jeans, a worn sweater, and sneakers. No resume, no references, just a quiet confidence and a lunchbox wrapped in cloth. The housekeeper, Mrs. Langley, sneered, "You're the maid. You look like you clean garages." Rosa simply smiled. "I clean hearts too if they're dirty." Mrs. Langley rolled her eyes and showed her the mop closet. That afternoon, chaos erupted. Julian and Jasper, sensing fresh prey, launched Operation Scare the New One. They dumped glitter in her cleaning bucket, slid banana peels down the marble hallway, hid her keys in the freezer. At dinner, they threw mashed potatoes at the wall and screamed when asked to stop. Rosa didn't flinch. She didn't scold, didn't cry, didn't quit. Instead, she picked up the mashed potatoes with her bare hands, slowly, deliberately, and said, "Waste is a sin where I come from. This could have fed someone." The twins paused. No adult had ever spoken to them like that. Not with anger, not with pity, but with quiet truth. Julian sneered, "We're rich. We can waste whatever we want." Rosa looked him in the eye. "Rich don't mean heartless, Mayo." That night, Rosa didn't go home. She slept on a cot in the laundry room, something no staff member had ever done. The twins, spying from the hallway, whispered to each other. "Why's she still here?" Jasper asked. "Maybe she's broke," Julian replied. "Or maybe she doesn't scare easy." The next morning, Rosa rose before dawn. She made tamales, the smell wafting through the halls like a warm hug. The twins, drawn by the aroma, crept into the kitchen. "You cook?" Julian asked, suspicious. "My abuela taught me," Rosa said, handing them each a plate. "Eat, then we clean the glitter you dumped yesterday." They devoured the food, the first meal they hadn't thrown in months. After breakfast, instead of forcing them to clean, Rosa handed them rubber gloves and said, "You made the mess. You help fix it. That's how the world works." They groaned, but they helped. That afternoon, Jasper accidentally knocked over Rosa's bucket of soapy water. Instead of yelling, Rosa laughed. "Ay, mijo, you got the aim of a future baseball pitcher." He blinked. No one had ever complimented him while he was being bad. Julian, not to be outdone, hid Rosa's shoes again. She found them in the oven, cold, thankfully, and said, "Next time, try the washing machine." More dramatic. He stared. "Aren't you mad? Disappointed?" "A little, but I know boys who act out are usually just hurting inside." Julian's face crumpled. He ran out of the room. That night, Richard came home to find Jasper sitting at the kitchen table, quietly helping Rosa peel potatoes. "Since when do you help in the kitchen?" Richard asked, stunned. Jasper didn't look up. "Rosa says if you eat, you help cook." Richard watched, speechless, as his son, who once threw a chair at a French tutor, carefully chopped carrots under Rosa's patient guidance. Days turned to weeks. Rosa didn't treat the boys like problems to be managed. She treated them like people, wounded, wild, but worthy. She sang old Mexican lullabies while dusting. She told stories of her childhood in Oaxaca, of chasing chickens, of sleeping under stars, of losing her own mother young. The boys listened, wide-eyed. One rainy afternoon, Julian found Rosa crying softly in the pantry, holding a faded photo. "Who's that?" he asked. "My son," she whispered. "He passed 5 years ago. Brain tumor." Julian didn't know what to say. He'd never seen an adult cry without yelling or collapsing. Rosa wiped her eyes and smiled. Sometimes the heart breaks, but you keep walking. That's courage. Julian sat beside her, quietly. For the first time in 2 years, he didn't feel alone in his grief. That night, he left a drawing on Rosa's cot, a stick-figure family. Him, Jasper, Rosa, and a scribbled angel labeled Mommy. Rosa cried again, but this time she wasn't alone. Richard began noticing changes. The twins stopped screaming at dinner. They started saying please and thank you. They even, shockingly, apologized when they broke a vase. One evening, he found them curled up on the couch with Rosa, watching an old Disney movie. Jasper's head was on her shoulder. Julian was holding her hand. Richard's chest tightened. When was the last time he'd held them like that? He approached Rosa the next day. How did you do it? She stirred her coffee. I didn't do anything, Mr. Whitmore. I just showed up, every day, even when they were mean, even when they lied, even when they tested me. Kids don't need perfection. They need presence. Richard sat down, suddenly exhausted. I've been so lost since Elena. I thought money could fix everything. Nannies, therapists, private schools. I threw money at their pain like it was a leaky faucet. Rosa nodded. Grief don't care how big your house is. It only cares if someone sits with you in the dark. Tears welled in Richard's eyes. I don't even know my own sons anymore. Then start, Rosa said gently. Ask them what they dream about, not what they broke, what they dream about. That weekend, Richard canceled his business trip. He took the boys to the beach, just them. No phones, no assistants, no schedules. At first it was awkward. Julian threw sand. Jasper refused to talk. But then Rosa showed up, with a picnic basket and a kite. You didn't think I'd let you three figure this out alone, did you? Richard, for the first time in years, laughed until his sides hurt. As the sun set, Jasper crawled into Richard's lap. Dad, I miss Mom. Richard held him tight. Me too, buddy. Me too, Julian whispered. Rosa says it's okay to miss her and still be happy. Richard looked at Rosa, standing a few feet away, smiling softly. She's right, but storms don't vanish overnight. One afternoon, a new nanny arrived, hired by Richard's overbearing mother, who insisted a maid isn't qualified to raise heirs. The nanny, a stern British woman named Miss Thorne, immediately tried to impose rigid rules. The twins reverted, screaming, hiding, breaking things. Miss Thorne lasted 3 hours. As she stormed out, she hissed at Rosa. You've spoiled them. They need discipline, not whatever this is. Rosa didn't argue. She simply knelt and hugged the trembling boys. That night, Richard fired his mother's choice. No one touches my children's hearts but those who've earned it. He walked into the kitchen where Rosa was washing dishes. I want to offer you more, he said. A raise, a room in the main house, whatever you need. Rosa turned off the faucet. What I need, Mr. Whitmore, is for you to be their father, not their CEO. Show up, even when it's messy, even when you're tired. That's the job no one can replace. He nodded, tears in his eyes. Will you stay? Officially, not as a maid, as part of this family. Rosa smiled. I never left. Months passed. The twins started school, not as terrors, but as curious, kind boys. They made friends. They drew pictures for Rosa. They told their dad about their day, every day. Richard sold half his company to spend more time at home. He coached Jasper's soccer team. He helped Julian build a volcano for science fair. It exploded gloriously, covering the kitchen in baking soda lava. They laughed together, cleaning it up. On the anniversary of Elena's passing, the family visited her grave, Rosa included. The boys left flowers and letters. Richard held Rosa's hand as he wept. She'd have loved you, he whispered. Rosa squeezed back. She'd be proud of you. You found your way back. One evening, as Rosa packed her things to go home, yes, she finally started leaving at night, Julian ran up and hugged her legs. Don't go, he pleaded. I'll be back tomorrow, Corazon, she said. But what if you don't? Rosa knelt. I made you a promise, remember? I don't break promises. Jasper appeared, holding a handmade card. Inside it read, Rosa, you're our second mommy. Love, Julian and Jasper. Rosa's breath caught. She pulled them both into a fierce hug. Richard stood in the doorway watching. He cleared his throat. Actually, Rosa, there's something I've been meaning to ask you. He walked over, took her hands. The boys need you. I need you. This house, it's finally a home because of you. Will you stay? Permanently. Not as staff, as family, as their godmother, our family. Tears streamed down Rosa's face. See, she whispered, con todo mi corazón, with all my heart. Years later, At Julian and Jasper's high school graduation, Rosa sat in the front row, right beside Richard. The boys, now tall and confident, each gave a speech. Julian, holding back tears. When we were lost, someone knelt down and met us in the mess. She didn't fix us, she loved us, and that changed everything. Jasper, voice cracking, to Rosa, the woman who taught us that love isn't loud, it's patient, it's showing up, it's tamales at 6 a.m. and hugs after nightmares. You're our heart, Mama Rosa. The crowd rose in a standing ovation. Richard, now gray at the temples but smiling brighter than ever, leaned over and kissed Rosa's cheek. You saved us. She shook her head. No, mi amor, we saved each other. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe, because everyone deserves a Rosa in their life, and sometimes you become someone else's Rosa without even knowing it. Love shows up in the most unexpected ways. Thanks for watching.